There's a detail from the Second World War that rarely shows up in documentaries, yet it shaped how patrols moved, how scouts survived, and how missions avoided collapse in the middle of the night. Every soldier carried a map, but once the sun dropped, a map became a liability. Strike a match and you exposed your position. Click on a flashlight and you turned yourself into a target. Even the glow of a cigarette could get someone killed. And when clouds covered the sky or artillery smoke choked out the stars, navigation became more dangerous than the enemy's bullets. Yet buried in field manuals and the memories of a few surviving veterans is a technique so effective and so simple that many modern troops, preppers, and disaster response groups still quietly rely on it. It's a way to make a map readable in total darkness without electricity, without chemicals that give off light visible to the enemy, and without risking your position. Tonight, we're going into that forgotten technique, why it worked, and how anyone can still replicate it today, for zero-tech navigation. So, how did soldiers create a readable map without using any light? Well, during World War II, especially in the European and Pacific theaters, units often had to operate at night to avoid detection. The standard issue maps were printed on thin matte paper that actually absorbed light instead of reflecting it, which basically made them useless without some sort of illumination. Troops needed something that could be seen only by the person holding it, something that wouldn't glow outward or shine across a field and give away their position. The solution, surprisingly, came from a mix of field improvisation and some older cartographic tricks, by lightly altering the map surface so it would reflect even the faintest bit of ambient light. The technique, honestly, was pretty clever. It involved coding key areas of the map, usually grid lines, contour boundaries, and essential landmarks, using a mix of wax and grease. Soldiers could just rub the map with a thin layer of candle wax, lard, or even the grease from their weapon maintenance kits. Once buffed, the treated portions of the map caught minimal light from the sky, even through thick cloud cover. It didn't glow, it simply reflected, and because the surface reflection was hyper-localized, it remained invisible to anyone more than a few inches away. The soldier could read just enough of the markings to orient themselves, while staying completely concealed. Why this worked even in pitch-black conditions. The human eye adapts dramatically after 20 to 30 minutes in darkness. WWII scouts took advantage of this biological fact. A tiny amount of ambient light, moonlight filtered through fog, the faint halo of artillery miles away, even the slight difference between the sky and the horizon, was enough for the grease sections to stand out as a soft contrast. Soldiers didn't need brightness, they needed differentiation. Lines treated with wax or grease became slightly more reflective, allowing the eye to pick them out while the rest of the map stayed dark. This wasn't theory. Ranger and paratrooper units recorded using it during long-range reconnaissance where silence and darkness were their only protection. British commandos operating in Norway used a similar method with whale oil. In the Pacific, some Marines even used coconut oil when wax candles ran out. The idea remained the same: change the optical behavior of the map so the smallest trace of ambient light becomes readable. For anyone interested in off-grid navigation or emergency preparedness, this trick remains as valuable as it was 80 years ago. A modern topographic map can be made night-readable with the same material soldiers used. A basic step-by-step version looks like this. First, identify the essential information you want visible: contours, water sources, route markings, or grid squares. Next, apply a very thin layer of wax from a candle or chapstick directly onto those areas. Buff it gently with a cloth until it looks like nothing has changed. In daylight, the map will look almost untouched, but at night, those treated lines will catch what your dark-adapted eyes can see. Survivalists often pair this method with a second step, pre-cutting the map and folding it so only the next segment of the route is accessible. This matches what World War II scouts did, keeping the exposure of the map minimal in case of rain, wind, or sudden contact. In a modern setting, say navigating during a blackout, moving in a forest during a power outage, or traveling during a long off-grid hike, it works exactly the same way. You rely on your eyes adjusting rather than creating light. One of the most valuable aspects of this trick is that it's testable. Anyone can take a standard paper map, step into a dark room and allow their eyes to adjust. Apply wax to one area and leave the other untouched. After half an hour, the difference becomes obvious. That ability to replicate and verify the technique makes it a rare piece of wartime knowledge that doesn't rely on speculation or storytelling. It's a genuine, historically documented method that still functions exactly as it did under battlefield pressure. For researchers, this also sheds light on how much improvisation shaped World War II tactics. Manuals didn't cover every outcome. Soldiers were forced to blend old knowledge, like reflective map treatments used by early surveyors, with the demands of modern warfare. This trick is a small example of a broader pattern. The war pushed ordinary individuals to refine practical, low-tech solutions we rarely credit them for. Bringing the past into the present keeps these forgotten stories alive. What makes this World War II navigation trick so compelling is that it brings together history, survival skills, and human ingenuity. It's a reminder that many of the most useful wartime innovations weren't the headline-grabbing technologies, but the quiet, clever adjustments made by soldiers trying to stay alive and complete their missions. And for anyone who studies history seriously, these are the details that reveal the real texture of the past. If you enjoyed uncovering this forgotten method and want more deep dives into overlooked skills, strange wartime practices, and the hidden mechanics behind historical events, make sure you subscribe to Strange History and share this guide with fellow historians and survival-minded friends. The more we explore, the more we realize how much the past still has to teach us.